Hit the like, hit the share. Wow, wow, wow. What a big day for Liverpool Football Club today. Could be. We had the last 16 draw, of course, earlier this morning. We got Real Madrid, the champions. Didn't want them, but we've got them, and we're going to have to deal with them, as I say. But that's for another day. We don't play them until February, the middle of February. We could be a different team by then. We could be a totally different team by then, middle of February, with players back and possibly new players in January. We're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about investment, but we're also going to talk about FSG. Wow. The breaking news, of course, by David Ornstein from The Athletic, who broke the news today after the Champions League draw. Great time to drop it, wasn't it? Talking about the possibility of Liverpool looking for a buyer. I'd say Liverpool roughly worth between 3 and 4 billion, something like that. I know Chelsea were similar priced. I know some Indian businessman, tycoon billionaire, came in with a 3 billion bid end of last season, and Liverpool turned it down. So we know what they're worth, and I think FSG want to take the money and run. Or does it mean that? Does it even mean that? I don't know. There was something else in the Boston Globe tonight as well, talking about it. And remember, the Boston Globe is owned by John W. Henry, who is, of course, FSG, Fenway Sports Group, talking about they are looking to sell, and they're looking for a complete sell. But then you're hearing maybe it's a partial sell, maybe it's share a sell, maybe it's just looking for investment for the window. Who bloody knows? But it is big, big news. Whatever you think about it, it's huge news. It's huge news. As I say, guys, get your comments in. What do you think? Hit the like, hit the share. Let's go. Spurs win yesterday, of course, huge win, 2-1 yesterday. Wait, Mama, first away win of the season. Mo Salah with the brace, the king of Egypt, was on fire yesterday. We needed that, we got that. Derby, midweek, League Cup, we are the holders on Wednesday night. And then Southampton to finish it off, which probably won't have a manager because Ralph Hasenhüttl was sacked by Southampton, so we play them. We always play teams that just have sacked their manager, don't we? So we have them on Saturday. We need 3 points there. But this FSG business is blowing everything out of the water. It really, really has. I couldn't react. I did a short video and I did a small little 1 minute video to it because I was in work, so I couldn't do it complete. I was more interested in the last 16 draw. I was looking at that going, Madrid, fuck Madrid. But anyway, maybe we can get revenge on them. I sort of rather play them over 2 legs in something like that, get them early, than rather, in a final again, because they just seem to have it in finals. Look, as I say, we'll be a different team in February. We'll be a totally different team. We'll have players back. They mightn't be flying at that time. We could be flying. So, as I say, that game will take care of itself. That's not for 3 months. Like, it's middle of February. It's a long, I think it's Valentine's Day or something like that. The 14th of February. So, it's a long way away. But before all that, FSG, John W. Henry, Fenway Sports Group. What do you think, guys? What are your thoughts? Or what did you read? What was your read on it? What will happen? What will happen, says Ravi? LFC, CJ1, we are taking over the league. City no more. Well, I don't know about that. But I mean, what type of owners would you want? Let's say, okay, hypothetical. Let's say FSG, right, it is for sale. It's 100% sale. They take 3.5 billion or 4 billion or whatever they get for it. Who pays that type of money? Who pays that type of money? I know there's an Indian businessman. He's worth billions. He's looking at Liverpool. He put a bid in last year. There's a possibility someone like maybe DIC from the Arab conglomerate, the consortium. But you've got to be careful what you wish for, guys. You really got to be careful what you wish for. Look at United with Glazers. Yes, they splash money, but they take money out. They haven't really done anything to the ground. They haven't done anything to the brand, really, over the last few years. So you've got to be very careful. If Arabs come to City, is City are dead meat? Well, look, I don't know. Anyone demanding a super rich buyer with the ethics of an angel, keep looking. Personally, I just want an owner who will open their wallet once in a while. As I'm saying, Sir Oswald, I mean, there is no perfect scenario here. The perfect scenario would be FSG would spend more money. That would be the perfect scenario. And that they're just going in for a sales, a shares deal here to get some money and get some investment back into the club, maybe 200-300 million, and put it in the windows, the next 2 windows. Get a Jude Bellingham in January or a Declan Rice and get a Jude Bellingham in the summer or something like that. That would be the perfect scenario, because I was happy with FSG, other than them spend the money. Okay, they made mistakes with the Super League, they made mistakes with the furlough, but they've done a lot of good work as well. So for me, you've got to be really careful here. You've got to be careful. I mean, the whole club is at stake if you get in owners that you just think, as you say, are going to spend billions and millions and, just splash the cash everywhere. There's always some sort of, motive behind it all. I mean, I don't know. City had something like some massive record fucking money today. I don't know whether you've seen that or not. How fake is that? I don't know. We don't want another 2-bit investment fund. FSG should sell the lot, says Eamon Kelly. But as I say, Eamon, who's going to buy it? I know there's one or two Indian businessmen, billionaires interested. I reading something else today about it. I mean, you need someone with between 3 and 4 billion, roughly, I'd say. I'd say 3.5 billion, you get the club, basically. I think 3 billion mightn't get it. 3.5, close to 4, you will get it. Maybe Redbird Capital. I think they own 10 or 11% of the club. I think FSG own 89% of the club, and Red Bull want the 51% stake, or Redbird Capital, Redbird. LeBron James, I think, is involved as well. So I don't know. I mean, it just came out of the blue, really, to be fair. Maybe they're looking at it and going, guys, we will not be able to cope with the likes of City, the way they spend the money, the way even United spend money, even Chelsea spend money, all these clubs, and now Newcastle coming in with the big bucks, coming in with the millions, coming in with the billions, and saying, it isn't sustainable. I mean, Klopp has been a magician. He's been a wizard in the transfer market, of course, with Michael Edwards, who is gone. We've Julian Ward there now. So it's going to be harder and harder and harder. You're going to need the Wonga, the Benjamin Franklins, whatever you want to call it. You're going to need the money. And maybe FSG are looking at it going, look, we get out now. We're at the highest we're ever going to get them. We're probably the most money we're ever going to get the club for is right now. Probably the end of last season probably would have been even better for them in the summer. But they're probably saying, right, let's go. But the world's in a bit of recession as well. I mean, I don't know it's a crazy one. Is it a full sale? I'm reading it is in some places. In other places I'm reading it's only a part sale, or they're looking for investment, or they're, looking to sell some shares, but not outright complete ownership type of thing. So it's hard to read into it. And I hadn't got a huge amount of time to read into it. The article by David Ornstein in The Athletic, and there's something else today on Twitter, seen it from the Boston Globe, who, of course, is owned by John W. Henry. So he owns that himself. But I'm sure there'll be buyers, absolutely there'll be buyers for a club like Liverpool, the heritage, the history, the brand, all the deals that we've been doing. We did a deal with Coca-Cola recently as well. There's Nike, the Nike deal, Standard Chartered deals. You've Jurgen Klopp as the talisman there. World-class players at the club. The ground is looking brilliant. I mean, you've got the new Annie Road end opening up next season with an extra 7,000 tickets. So yes, it is an attractive buy. It's a big buy, but I also think it's in a way it's a tough sell, because the Liverpool faithful, the Shankly, supporters, the actual pure, realists, or the pure followers, basically, will, be careful who comes in. I mean, I don't think they'd be mad about a Chinese buyer, a billionaire, or something, or maybe an Arab buyer, a big oil state type of thing, like a City, like a PSG, like a Newcastle. I don't know. I mean, another investment fund in the States. I mean, who has 3 or 4 billion? Maybe Elon Musk will come in. But you know what I mean? So it's going to be really, really interesting. But I don't think you go public about it like that unless you're going to do something, because it'd be a silly thing to do. So there's something going to happen, obviously, in the next few days, a few weeks. Whether it's a full sale or whatever, I don't know. But definitely something is on the cards. I would love Elon Musk, scissor. I don't know about that. I mean, we seen what he's done to Twitter, didn't we? He'd probably sack the tea lady, for God's sake, for making dodgy tea. So, look, it's hard to say who I'd like. As I say, I would have liked an FSG. Well, they could still stay, but I'd like them just to open the bloody checkbook more. But we know that's not their policy. That's not their project or the way they work. They're hardly going to change now. You never know. Maybe they will. Maybe they won't. The bids won't be high enough, and they'll say, listen, we'll give it another year or two. But they'll have to spend in January, and they're probably thinking, we need to spend 150 million in January, and maybe it's the time to sell now. You know what I mean? Musk is creating freedom of speech on Twitter. Gets my approval, Sir Oswald. Oh yeah, well, I mean, Musk is just, wow. I mean, look what he's done to Tesla and his SpaceX and all these things. I still think he's overpriced Twitter. I don't think Twitter's worth 44 billion. I think if I was reading somewhere it's worth about half that, maybe 25, 22 billion. He'd probably get it back somehow. He wants is it $8 a month for the blue tick? $8 a month for your blue tick. And you get your blue tick. So maybe he'll make his money back. I don't know. A lot of people don't like him, but there's a lot of people do like him. Peter Snape. I'm living over in Germany and we're hearing the FSG are looking for investors, but are ready to sell at a ridiculously high price. No price was named, says Peter. I think it's between 3 and 4 billion and preferably 3.5 billion and up. That's, you have to look at the Chelsea model. I mean, Chelsea was a crazy price, really. For the brand, that's Chelsea. They're a big club. I don't think they're as big as Liverpool. They're in London, yes, okay. Real estate and all that type of thing. Potential. They look at potential. They look at everything. Look at world fan base. You probably look at the amount of TikTok, Instagram, YouTube followers as well. That has something to do with it. You know, Liverpool, probably 100 million fans worldwide. You know, that type of thing. Huge. Get the oil in, says Shane Crawford. I don't know, guys. I mean, we'll have to see. I would have loved an FSG, except he didn't spend the bloody money. That's the problem. Henry's in. How are you, Henry? Hopefully you're well. Hit the like, guys. We need 15 people in, only 5 likes. Let's go. Hit the like for John W. Henry. FSG aren't willing to invest themselves, so they are asking someone else to do it. It's a joke that they will have a stake, that they will still have a stake in the club. Well, will they still have a stake in the club? I mean, I don't know. I've been reading so many bloody different things about this, different stories about this, and you know, a lot of different ways of looking into this. Is it a complete sale? Don't know. Is it a part sale? Is it a share sale? Is it just trying to get enough on the stocks to get investment so you can maybe spend a few quid? I don't bloody know. Maybe you know more than me. What do you think about the Madrid tie? Well, I mean, that was the big breaking news this morning. Madrid home and away, 14th of February. I think it's Valentine's Day. That should be very, very sexy. It's a sexy game. Looking forward to it. Maybe a bit of revenge in the cards. As I say, it's so far away. It's so bloody far away. A lot could happen between now and middle of February, guys. A lot of stuff could happen. As you say, that draw came out. Liverpool, Madrid. You know, and it was, wow, that is beautiful. PSG, Bayern Munich. That's another big tasty tie. I think the English teams did okay. It was a Chelsea, Dortmund. You know, Spurs, AC Milan, that's decent enough, and City got Leipzig. I think all those they'll win. I still think we have a good chance. We could be in a different space, a different area by then. We could have new owners by February. You know what I mean? So we could have investment. Could have a big bloody window. Who knows? Players back. It's so far away, but I'm happy with it. Let's we go with it. Didn't want Madrid originally, but I'll take it. Butter Pants is in the house. Salvatore's in. Glasgow Reds. John, I can't wait for the Madrid tie. Absolutely, listen, we'll beat them. Let's go for it, baby. But we've got games to come before that. We've got Derby County midweek in the League Cup, and we've got the Southampton game. Managerless Southampton at the weekend. We need 3 points big time. We need big times. Earlier text back there from Salvatore. Evening, Dave. Don't know if you read my earlier text when you were in the vehicle. Coca-Cola put some money into the club recently. Wouldn't it be great that they bought us? I know Coca-Cola is it. They bought you put back in September, I think they put money in, big money. Look, the brand, Liverpool, you know, there's going to be sponsors there. Standard Chartered renewed their contract. Nike, huge contract, one of the biggest sponsored contracts. The contracts are there, Expedia, you name it. You know, Lavazza Coffee, they're all there. All the bloody sponsors are there. And that's why they're an attractive club for a buyer, an outside buyer. You got the fan base, stadium's looking great, new training ground. World-class players, all players tied down to long contracts. So there's no doubt about it. I mean, we're right up there. And maybe FSG just said we won't be able to compete with the likes of City, the likes of Newcastle now, the new kids on the block. Look how well they're doing now, and they could go big in January as well. So it's going to be really, really interesting to see what happens, guys. It really is going to be super, super interesting to see what happens in the next days or weeks. There's no such thing as a super rich owner or syndicate without skeletons in their cupboard. Personally, I'm not that fussy, says Oswald. We got to play our academy players on Wednesday. I would. I'd play the likes of young Ben Doak. I'd bring him up, even have him on the bench. He's doing well near the 21s. I'd give Simicas a game, Kelleher a game. I'd give all these guys, Calvin Ramsey a game, all these guys a game. I really would. Bobby didn't make the Brazil squad. What are your thoughts on that? There was so much bloody news today. Alisson and Fabinho are in the Brazil squad, but Bobby didn't make it. It's sad for him, but it's good for Liverpool fans that you'll have a fresh Bobby coming back, of course. But sad for him and his family. I'm sure he wanted to play in the World Cup. It's every player's dream to play in a World Cup. A Brazilian is like a dream, you know, World Cup playing for Brazil. So sad for Bobby, but sort of in a good place for Liverpool, really, you know. But hit the like, guys. Let's get people in here. Yanks only sell for big bucks, and they are prepared to pay $2 billion for a small Brazilian club. But as I say, I think Liverpool are between 3 and 4 billion, something like that. Sponsors want Champions League exposure. That's in doubt, says Eamon. We still a big name though, Eamon. You know what I mean? I mean, United are a big name. They were Europa League this year. It's the fan base. It's the history. We still, even if we didn't get Champions League next year, we'd still hopefully have Klopp there. And we'd have players. A new owner comes in, gives you investment, you push, you go again. Preferably, it's all about Champions League. Preferably, it's all about TV rights, money rights. They're the big, big money makers. It's not really about the fans that come in at the turnstiles anymore. It used to be. That changed about 15 years ago. Now it's all TV rights. TV rights is where the real Wonga is made. That's where you get the sponsors from looking at you on television. That's where you get the viewers, the extra fans, the extra TikTok boys. It's all about the naming rights. It's all about the TV rights, basically. Chelsea wants to change name into something like Chelsea Warriors. So the American franchise system is coming to the Premier League. Yes, I know. He wanted like he want 4 quarters. He want the pom-poms out at half time and all that. I don't want any of that. I still like my half time, 45 each way. None of this shit, you know what I mean? But I think the likes of Super League's inevitable. Maybe not in a year, next year. Within the next 10 years, I'd be surprised if there's not some sort of a Super League. I really would. The money, it's just going that way, unfortunately. It really is going that way. The big clubs have the power, the big clubs have the money. And, once if the say top 20 teams in Europe go into their own league, I mean, the Champions League then becomes like Europa League. And the Europa League becomes like a Conference League. And the Conference League becomes like don't know. But eventually I think it will happen. There's just too much money. There's too much at stake. Unfortunately. It's all money now, guys. It's a business. He also wanted a South against North. I seen that. Best North team put them together. Put against the South team. Oh, fuck, just stop. Bowley or whatever his name is. Bowler, whatever his name is. Absolute idiot. But yeah, where they see money, where they see... And the thing about the quarters, the breaks and ad breaks and stuff like that, it's all revenue. The more ads you can get into a big Premier League game, say Liverpool United or Liverpool City or a big game in Champions League, and they're having more than half time ad break, they're having probably, quarters. So 2 halves, it's broken into 4 quarters, and then you get the ads thrown in. It's more money, it's more Wonga. I mean, that's I hope that never happens, but guys, who would you like? I mean, like, look, have FSG being good, have FSG being bad. I've said it all along. As Eamon's saying here, with no FFP enforcement, FSG are going to struggle. There's no FFP, fair play. Football fair play is going out the window. We know what City have done. Stop. We know what PSG have done. Probably even what Newcastle are going to do. So the FFP is gone. Forget about it. It's just not going to happen. They tried it. There's just too many loopholes. It's just too much money involved. It's just absolutely crazy. Crazy. Football became a multi-billionaire business years ago, and it's ruined football for me. Even VAR came from an American football. Maybe, possibly. I mean, the VAR was used in rugby and stuff like that, of course, and cricket used it and, stuff like that. But this thing though, the ownership, the FSG thing, it literally hit me. I was driving today, got a text message from a few people saying, you better go live, you better do this. I thought you were talking about this, the last 16, which I just did a video on, talking about Real Madrid in the last 16 of the Champions League. I said, no, you better go live quick, you better go. Breaking news. Then I went on to Twitter. David Ornstein's usually reliable, fairly reliable. The Athletic, of course, talking about he had the big scoop. And it was some scoop. At first I seen it, and this something wrong here, Then I looked more into it. Then other people start, James Pearce and Paul Joyce and other guys start catching on to it. And Boston Globe itself, which of course is owned by John W. Henry, the newspaper, started talking about it. And then I was like, oh, right, there's something to this. And then a bit more reading about it. And maybe they're calling time in it. Maybe they just can't compete. The money's just ridiculous. They're going to have to spend. And they know they have to spend to stay up there. And they're probably not willing to do that. Maybe that's it. Maybe that's the answer. They know they'll have to spend big time this window and the next window at least to catch up. And they're probably saying, let's get out now while we can. And whoever buys them has to spend. You know what I mean? Maybe I'm wrong. Give me your thoughts, guys. I want to hear from Klopp and his feelings towards this news. I think Klopp will keep quiet about it, to be honest. When's the conference? Tomorrow for the Derby game, the League Cup game? I'd be surprised if Klopp says much about it. I really would, Be careful what you say about your owners or your bosses. Qatar own PSG. beIN Sports, you can't get them out anymore without major damage to many clubs. They rule the TV rights market now, yes. Hairy Hands does the thing with your man, Richard Keys, isn't it? Hairy Hands. Richard Keys and that other lunatic, the Everton player. What was his name again? Anyway, those two that were sacked from Sky Sports are doing beIN Sports, aren't they? Can't get beIN Sports here. No, you can get it on the internet and all, but I've Sky Sports and BT, I suppose, and Premier Sports over here. But it is money. It's TV rights, guys. That's where it is. That's where it's going. It's all about the big games. It's all about the Champions League, the big games in like the Liverpool and Madrid ties, European royalty. I mean, there'd be people looking at that going, "Wow, they were in the final last year." It's a final, basically, isn't it? I mean, it's been final for the last two finals for Liverpool. If you other than the Spurs game, the 18 final, of course, and this year's final. If there was no oil in this world, there would be many clubs? If there was no oil in this world, there wouldn't be many clubs playing. We will become a team vying for fourth spot in the future if Yanks don't realise mega money because we have an aging team. We need investment. That's maybe the whole idea of today. Maybe that's the whole thing behind the FSG policy today, saying, listen, we know the club need investment. We know we need to spend big money, but are we willing to do it? Or are we willing to sell and let whoever takes over do it? Maybe that's the question. You know what I mean? I don't know. Even Arsenal spend money more than us. FSG has gone so far with us. Okay, so you're basically calling FSG time here. Bring in the oil money, says Michael. Bring in the oil money, says Michael Batsford. Oh my God. The oil money looks like, well, I don't know if it's oil money. It could be a hedge fund in America. Who knows? Who knows? We need a massive spend, says Salvatore. Look, I mean, be careful who you wish for. I've said it twice on bloody Twitter today. I've said it on my own channel earlier. Grass isn't always greener. You could get a big bloody oil stake coming in, and like a city, or a PSG, and it just doesn't work out. Human rights records and Redbird Capital, of course, LeBron James involved. They own, I think it's 11% stake in Liverpool. Maybe they're the ones that want, say, a 51% controlling stake. I don't know. Maybe they want to pump money in. I don't want Liverpool to be a mid-table club. We need someone with money and who will spend. Well, whoever's going to spend 3 or 4 billion on a club has to think they're not going to do it without spending, or they'll lose the money they've spent. So whoever's going to come in to pay a check to FSG for between 3 and 4 billion will have to have a few 100 million to spend and say, right, we're in this position. We need to do this, and if next year or two be back up again. Nation states seem to be the future of football now, says Eamon. Unfortunately, possibly you're right there. I don't think that's a good thing, but if get oil money, we will have them loony twats gluing themselves to the pitch during the games. Oh God, yeah, I'm surprised they haven't been at City games gluing themselves to the goalposts. But it's interesting. It was a big I won't say a shock, but it was a big thing today because all eyes were on the Champions League draw. All eyes were on that 2-1 win yesterday against Spurs, and I was doing a video tonight to talk about the 2-1 win. We were a bit lucky second half, but it was a good win, first away win, and then to lead into the last 16, against Madrid. It's a long way away. We'll be in a different place then, so will they. But all of a sudden, it's FSG, you've thrown everything up into the air. I'm not even thinking of the Derby game on Wednesday, the Derby County game. It's all about FSG, John W. Henry, Mike Gordon, Fenway Sports Group, Red Capital, LeBron James, whatever you want to throw in. It's like a basketball game here. But it's going to be really, really interesting. We'll hear more every day. There was a good article in the Boston Globe today. I only read bits of it. Of course, owned by John W. Henry. So, there's the mouthpiece for John W. Henry, the Boston Globe. You know what I mean? And they're basically saying maybe they are looking for a suitable buyer. I would take a syndicate of Musk, Bezos and Gates. $1 trillion club. FSG. Never going to spend their own money on transfers, hence the sale, says Paul Owens. Paul, how are you? Hannah alone, state ownership of football clubs needs to stop now, says Hannah. I think it's only going to get worse, Hannah, to be fair. It'll be a long time before you stop it. I think, look, do you want a Chinese billionaire coming in with their human rights? Do you want, Saudi Arabia and an Abu Dhabi, a Dubai? Do you want DIC? The DIC, the consortium from the Middle East. Do you want a hedge fund from the States? Do you want Elon Musk? Do you want Jeff Bezos? Michael Gates? Do you want, what's your man's name? Hathaway, Berkshire Hathaway, one of the richest men in the world. What do you want? Get your wallet out, Dave, and make a pitch. All right, I'll give you 3.5 billion right now for Liverpool. 3.5, going once, going twice. Sold to Dave's LFC Chats. Okay, let's get Bellingham and Rice in January. Let's go. I think we probably need two of them. But look, it's going to be crazy. And if someone does come in pre-Christmas, all eyes will be on the bloody window. There'll be checks flown all over the place. The Benjamin Franklins, the Wonga be out the window. Think FSG know that they can't give us what we really need to compete. They have just taken us so far. I just hope whoever takes over knows what football is. This is Barry, Sweeney, Barry. I mean, no one's got, as I said earlier, no one's going to spend between 3 and 4 billion, which is what Liverpool will be looking for, what FSG will be looking for. It's probably about right in today's market. I think FSG bought us for what was it, about 350 million at the time, back in 2010, and it'll be almost 10 times. It's gone up 10 times probably what they bought it for. So they're gonna, their shareholders, whatever, are gonna make big money. It's not just John W. Henry who's involved. There's a few people in the Fenway Sports Group. It's not just one guy. There's a few people. Dave, can you liquidate your YouTube assets and buy LFC? We need serious money, says Sir Oswald. Do you know what? I'm actually monetized since June, but I actually haven't set it up. So I'm monetized, but I actually haven't set it up properly, if you know what I mean. I just haven't had bloody time to do it. But I am monetized. To be fair to FSG, they did a good job at Liverpool. People forgot where we were in 2010. Peter Snape, you're absolutely correct. As I keep saying, be careful what you wish for. In 2010, Hicks, Gillette, the two Sharks, the two Cowboys, Roy Wood Senior was our manager at the time, and we were a sinking bloody ship. FSG came out with the lifeboat, kept us afloat, pushed us forward, won us a Champions League, won us a league in first one in 30 years, FA Cup, League Cup, Super Cup, everything, absolutely everything we won with them. Could have won more. We were in 3 Champions League finals, probably should have won one more of them. Twice close with City with a point in it. I mean, we were punching above our weight in transfer, net spend and stuff like that. I mean, Klopp, Michael Edwards at the time was just doing unbelievable stuff. Really punching above our weight. People don't realise that this team was really punching above its weight up against the bloody might of Man City. £100 million players on the bench, fullbacks worth 80 million. I mean, and probably FSG rightly so are looking at it going, now we've Newcastle coming in as well. So you've Newcastle and you have City there. Newcastle will be going from strength to strength to strength, and they'll be up at City's level probably in the next 2 or 3 years. Next 4 or 5 transfer windows. The FFP's got out the window, as we said earlier, so they won't care about that. And you'll have other teams looking to spend, and other teams will spend. So FSG are saying we're slightly falling up behind this time. Maybe it's time to sell and give someone else that problem of transfer windows, In other words, get out while the money's good type of thing. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe they won't get what they want and they'll hold on till the summer. Maybe they'll only take over 3 billion or 3.5 billion and they won't get that. In today's recessionary world as well. I mean, in the summer, when we were right at our height after a 63-match season, the pre-season, probably was the right time to sell. Now it's a peculiar time to be talking about it, November. I'd rather have bought players than had any road stances, Henry. No, look, there's 2 huge things they've done. The new training ground, the AXA training ground. I know there's people paying for it in the background. AXA, big sponsorship, the insurance company AXA. The Kirby ground, moving from Melwood to AXA. Now, it's like moving from a 3-star hotel. Now, Melwood was brilliant at the time. It was rejuvenated from ages ago. But moving from Melwood to Kirby was a 3-star to a 5-star, basically. A 5-star hotel. Everything's moved up a level. That was really, really good. It was needed. The stadium now, by next year, will be, top-notch stadium. Absolutely top-notch. And we needed that as well. So they've done a few good things. It was the investment in the players is where they let us down. And as you can see, the TikTok boys were not happy about it on Twitter or on anything else. They were absolutely not happy about it one bit. I wager with you we will be bought by another Yank. And it'll be a .com, bit.com, maybe a Bitcoin company. Maybe, I hope not, because that's volatile. There's volatility there. Those type of things. Tech, what's happening in the tech business now with Elon Musk and Facebook or Meta, whatever you call them, and all these Instagram. They're losing money, and their height was probably in the summer. I don't want to be bought by a bleeding Bitcoin because they can just crash. You know, it's volatility. I want safe. I want nice and safe, nice and easy. There's more to owning a club than buying players, says Hannah. Exactly, Hannah. There's a lot more to buying, you know, owning a big brand name like Liverpool. A lot more goes on behind the scenes that you don't see. Most people just care about the transfer window, who we bring out, who we bring in, how much we're paying them wages, as if it really bothered us, or how much we're paying on transfer fees. At the end of the day, guys, you know, as I said, it's the ground improvement. It's a training ground improvement. It's players' wages. It's players' profiles. It's brand. There's so much goes on in the background. You would not. It's sponsorship deals. Ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. Naming rights, TV rights. Crazy, crazy shit at the moment going on at Liverpool. But there's money to be made, I'm sure. Any billionaires out there watching that would love Liverpool. Preferably you'd like someone that had some sort of connection with Liverpool, or was a Liverpool fan, or their son is a Liverpool fan, or something like that, and not just a cold billionaire sitting there with his big cigar and his little cat like in James Bond. You know, one of these guys you never see in his chair with you know, Dr. No or some, you know, don't want one of them. I really, really want someone. You want someone that's a fan of football, number one, but preferably a Liverpool fan. That would be number two. My boys in finance in New York, and Bitcoin companies are coming sooner rather than later, says Salvador. Oh yeah, I'm not saying they're not coming. I'm just saying it's volatility. They're too volatile for me. I want safe, safe, safe. But we ain't spending 100 million on players. That's crazy money, says Henry. A lot of teams are doing it now. That's the problem. That is the problem. I think it's keeping up with the Joneses basically at this stage, isn't it? And FSG are probably saying we can't keep up with the Joneses, as in City, as in Newcastle, probably even as in United. I mean, United spent big money this summer. You know, huge money. Chelsea be spending again in January because they want Champions League. All the teams will be vying for Champions League football. So they're going to spend in January. So Liverpool will have to spend in January if FSG stay or don't stay. Because if they don't, they'll guarantee they won't get top four, and then the asset just drops. If you try to sell Liverpool in the summer, if the deal doesn't go through in the next few weeks, and they're looking to sell in the summer, and they're not in the Champions League, an asset drop there straight away. You'd rather be in the Champions League and be looking forward to all the naming rights, TV rights going forward. It's just a drop, you know. I mean, 75 million for Virgil, who's won it all. Well, that was big money at the time. I think he was the most expensive centre half at the time. We signed Alisson as the most expensive goalkeeper at the time. I know Kepka came in at Chelsea within a week or something and then just broke that record. But at the time, Alisson was the number one goalkeeper, most expensive. Virgil was the most expensive centre half, then Maguire from Leicester to United. Wow. You know what I mean? So we spent money, but we do need a midfielder. We do need a Jude Bellingham or a Declan Rice type £100 million player, preferably January. I don't think we can wait. We had to sell Coutinho to get VVD and Alisson. Says very good point. Buy or sell to buy. You're spot on. Clubs will be paying 100 million on players after the World Cup. Exactly. And I mean, if you have a good World Cup, if you go into the World Cup as a £50 million player and you have a good World Cup, you're a £100 million player. Your price doubles. Your price, especially if you're English, probably triples. You know what I mean? If Declan Rice or Jude Bellingham has a good World Cup and England do well in the World Cup, fucking forget about it. It'll be 200 million. So, you know, but back to the FSG thing, guys. I want to ask you a question in the comments. Have FSG been good for Liverpool? Yes or no? Are you sitting on the fence? Have FSG been good for Liverpool? That's the question. Hope Mike Ashley won't be sniffing around. Oh, for fuck's sake. Chelsea paid 65 million on a bloke who can't defend and is terrible from Brighton. I know, there you go. Crucicella or some Spanish guy, I can't even pronounce his name. And we bought Arthur and he's out for months like Jota and Diaz. Well, Arthur was a stopgap. What was he, 3 million? Arthur was an absolute stopgap. I'm not even going to mention Arthur again. We bought VVD before we sold Coutinho though. He joined the day Coutinho flew out to Barca for the first time. Being decent, but no more, says Eamon. I presume you mean FSG. So they've been decent owners, but he wants them gone. FSG have been great owners, says Hannah alone. FSG, I think FSG have been very good owners. I mean, look around. Look at the Glazers at United. They'll be out with the yellow and green flags. Yellow and green flags. Will we be out with the red and white flags to get rid of FSG? Hasn't come to that. Probably won't come to it because they could sell. You have to be careful what you wish for, guys. You really do. I mean, lots at stake. If you get the wrong owners in, let's say FSG sell up in the next few weeks before Christmas, and you get the wrong owners in that just don't suit the club, don't suit the fan base, and if the fan base against the bloody owners, given out, and then what happens then? So just got to be careful in what you wish for. Really, really careful. I don't think Liverpool will sell unless it's the right owner. It will have to suit the club, have to suit the club's profile. It won't just all be about, right, I'll give you 4 billion. Some guy on the phone, as I say, with his little cat and Dr. No, or it's James Bond sitting there with a big cigar and laughing, that evil laugh. I don't think they'll sell to those types. FSG were decent at the beginning, but reality now shows we need to spend big, and they won't, and want out. Yeah, make mega money for themselves. But that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking, have they seen it? Have they seen and said, listen, there's no way we're going to, like City are up there. They're going to spend big in January. Newcastle are going to go large, probably even in January. FFP's out the window. We can't cope. We've gone as far as we can go. Maybe. Would a nation state be bad investors? I think so, Eamon. We're slagging City, calling them oil barons. We're slagging Newcastle, calling them, Saudis with their human rights records and stuff. I don't know how we could sit here if a big oil state came in and pumped billions into Liverpool. You know what I mean? I don't know. I don't know what I'd do. Butter pants, I would say yes. They've been good. They won everything, but lately they figured out they can't compete, and that they don't stick around for too long is a positive. Compare them to the Glazers. Well, hopefully they're not. I think they've been better than the Glazers. FSG have been average owners with ESL crap. European Super League, probably you're talking about, is it? But to me, we cannot compete, whoever City, with all their money and still haven't won the Champions League, World Club Cup, UEFA Cup. Even Chelsea beat them to it. Well, yeah, all their money, still haven't won it. With a good chance this year. They get Leipzig, I think, RB Leipzig in the last 16. I think they'll get past them. They have a good chance. And we could beat Madrid. We could knock Madrid out. You never know. It's a long way away. As I say, 3 months is a long time in football. We could have new owners, could have new investment, could have new players in January, could have a new team, could have anything by the time we play Madrid. So I don't even think it's worth looking at that at all. If a nation state is like Saudi and using us to sports wash their blood-stained reputation, would you be happy with that, really? For Eamon Kelly, I think that question is from Hannah alone. I wouldn't be. You'd have to. The ethics have to come into it somewhere, guys. I know it's football and we're fans. We only want a team to win games and do its best. That's all we really care about. But you have to look behind. I'm sure Fenway Sports, FSG have issues with their money in certain countries, and probably own parts of shares in companies that aren't squeaky clean. Money's everywhere, but to be owned by an actual oil state like a Dubai or, I don't know, Bahrain, have some rich people. Bahrain, yeah, there's another one. The Bahrainis, they might come in. I think it's scary transitional period for us as Henry. Yeah, well, as I say, nothing's set in stone. Who knows what'll happen? Who knows what would happen in the next few weeks this side of Christmas or whatever? Who knows? I don't know. That's the scary part. Klopp will just keep doing his job. The players will just keep playing. It's not really up to them. Obviously, if a big billionaire guy comes in and wishes and says, listen, I'll back Klopp and we'll get players in January and this type of thing, then Klopp can, his Christmas list comes early. But other than that, Klopp will just keep going. I doubt he'll say anything about it in the press conferences tomorrow for the Derby County game. I'd be surprised if Klopp says anything. FSG, good for infrastructure and stability after the 2 Cowboys, but really poor investment transfers. 6 out of 10, says Paul Owen, for FSG. I'm actually going to give FSG 7 out of 10. I'm going to give FSG 7 out of 10 right till today. They would have got a lot more if they would have got the 2 or 3 windows we really missed out on. They would have been up there in 8 or 9, but 7 out of 10 for me. Paul Owens is giving them 6 out of 10 for FSG. Get your out of 10 marks in, guys. Yes to the Super League. Hi. Will you sign a petition to bring back the Super League? I won't sign it now, but I have a feeling I don't think you can stop the Super League. I really don't. With the money's involved, the billionaires coming in, they must know something we don't. I'd say in the next, 5, 10 years, maybe 10 years, there will be a Super League. Maybe by 2030. There will be some sort of a European Super League. I just can see it going one way. There's just so much money. There's so much power with the big clubs, the billionaires there, and I'd be surprised if there's no Super League. I'd be in the next 10 years or 8 years or 10 years, I'd be surprised. I'm not saying I want it, but I'd just say I'd be surprised. It's just the way it's going. I would go with Klopp. 10 out of 10, says Eamon. Oh, 10 out of 10 for Klopp. I mean, absolutely. But FSG, I think I'm giving them 7 out of 10. I think you give them 6 out of 10 for their ownership, I suppose. Give me your marks out of 10 for FSG. I'm giving them 7 out of 10. Would have got higher with a bit more investment, of course. Peter Snape, this decision hasn't been made today. Is this the reason for our season so far? Maybe the lads have known about this for weeks. I don't think ownership would, they're still being paid the same amount of money. They still got contracts to fulfill. Nothing's going to change the amount of money they make. I can't see anything. The only one you might say would be Klopp. Will I be getting investment in January? Will I be getting investment next summer? Maybe. Players, no. So this is sort of premium team period was new for FSG, and Klopp and FSG don't want to ride in these new waters. Well, Klopp does. I'm sure Klopp wants to stay on the chariot. Where is it all going to end, though, Dave? As far as LFC is concerned, realistically, I don't know. There's only two ways it can end. One, FSG don't get the money they're looking for and they stay for another while, or they do get the money they're looking for and they sell up. That's the only way I think you can see. 7 out of 10 is fair, I guess, says Eamon. That's what I said, 7 out of 10. Look, it's an opinion. It's up to you to give your mark out of 10 for FSG, but I'm giving them 7. Could have been higher with more investment, of course. One or two things, caught the Super League and the furloughs and made one or two mistakes, as did other big clubs. But, I mean, it's really interesting. It's going to be really interesting the next few days. It would be interesting to see what Klopp says. I'm sure he's going to be asked the question. He has to be asked the question, what do you think about the ownership thing? But I'd be surprised if he says too much. I'd be very surprised if Klopp gets involved in owners. But it'd be like asking your boss in your job, well, what do you think of the new boss coming in, and asking the boss. I can't see it. Just a bit conflict of interest. I just can't see it, I think 6 out of 7. Sorry, 6 or 7 out of 10. 6 out of 7. 6 or, yeah. Well, as I said, about 7 out of 10 is about right. But look, it's up to you, whatever you want. I know people would give them 3 or 4 out of 10, but, be realistic. They've been very good for the club. They've done some really good things. They've done more good than bad on balance. They've done more good than bad. So that's the way I'm marking them. More good than bad. That's why they're getting 7 out of 10. I've always said Klopp would only walk when he wanted a big name and the FSG wouldn't fund it. And it will blow up when we don't get Bellingham. I still don't. I know I read something again today saying Liverpool are favourites for Bellingham. Every day that changes. Madrid want them. Bellingham, he's gone to Madrid. No, he's definitely going to Real Madrid. Then, no, Liverpool are straight in the race. I mean, I don't know. Maybe with the new investors coming in, maybe they will get Bellingham. Who knows? Declan Rice and Bellingham. I think we need bleeding 2 big players, to be fair, in midfield. The midfield is just getting so lethargic and the legs are getting older. Do you believe Klopp has no power over the transfers? Look, I still believe Klopp is. I mean, if Klopp wants a player, let's say Klopp wants Jude Bellingham, I'm sure he's saying it to the likes of Mike Gordon or one of the guys, the intermediaries, Hogan or, Julian Ward. He's saying it to them, look, I'd like him, I really like him. I like, the guys come to him with all the stats and all the, would you like him? Absolutely, want him. I'd say so. Whether he gets it or not, he said he doesn't sign checks, which we know he doesn't sign the checks, but he has to say who he wants in his team. You know what I mean? He has to have a final say in who he wants in his team. I'd be so surprised. You'll hear it maybe in a new book when Klopp retires from Liverpool. Some book comes out from Klopp, and then you'll probably hear all what's going on or what isn't going on. But I'd be surprised. I see if Klopp wants a player, he gets it. FSG did not invent the Super League, but the communication from them has been really awful. Take your point there. Yes, he was. Remember him in the, where was it? Like he was sitting, John W. Henry sitting in. It was like a crematorium with the flowers in the corner. I'm very sorry. The very sorry one. Maybe say the very sorry one again. We shall see. But guys, as I say, that was the big breaking news today. Straight after getting Real Madrid last 16, everyone was, oh no, not Madrid. No, don't want them. Blah blah blah. And then that was blown out of the water with the possibility of FSG wanting to get out. 7 out of 10, fair enough. Took us over 12 years for those gangsters, no doubt. Since then, built us 2 new stands. So all good, to be fair, says Barry. Yeah, I mean, you have to give them some bloody, kudos, some, congrats or some thank you. I mean, it could have been exactly the opposite way. It could have been absolutely shiting in the wilderness. You know what I mean? My mind is just on January window and the next summer. If it's not a fancy investment, FSG must go, says LJ. Hit the like, hit the share. Let's get that up to 20 likes. What are we on? 16? More likes, more people come in. The longer we stay, the better the fun. At least John W. Henry fronted up and apologised for that. None of the other owners did. Yeah, that's true. That's true. That is very true. Look, look, as I keep saying, just be careful what you wish for. Just be careful. I agree with you. FSG has done well for us, but now when we need them to go an extra mile, they're not prepared to. Also, we've won everything during their tenure, so job done. Yeah, maybe you just can't take us any further. Maybe that's their job done. And say, listen, we've won everything for you. Stand, new stadium. Your stadium's looking brilliant. You know, you've players there tied down to long-term contracts. You've a new training ground. You've all these big sponsorship deals. Your brand is probably the highest it's ever going to get, and we just can't spend the 150, 200 million in transfer windows. You know, or maybe that's it. I know a few rich Indian guys, says LJ. There is an Indian guy, and you might know his name. I think he put a bid in for 3 billion for Liverpool back in April. Huge billion, worth hundreds of billions. Indian family consortium. I don't know his name, but I was reading something earlier about him. He might come back in at a 3.5 or something like that billion. Something like that, I think, is what you need to get Liverpool. Ambani, that's it. Ambani, yeah. That's his name, Ambani, yeah. DIC might come in. The Middle Eastern Consortium. Remember them? They were looking at Liverpool a few years ago. I think even when FSG were coming in, DIC wanted them. Who knows? Elon Musk might do a little tweet tonight. You know, you never know. He does like his tweets. He might just go, "You'll never walk alone" on a tweet or something. Imagine Elon Musk if he goes, YNWA, "you never walk alone" on a tweet. Well, then he'd be like, "Uh-oh, Elon Musk is going to poison and bleed the thing and explode," wouldn't it? But he's a bit of a charlatan, to be fair, so I hope he doesn't. But close to Armani. Ambani is close to Armani. I'm sure he wears Armani suits. But with all that money. But look, guys, as I say, who do you wish for? Who do you wish for? FSG have been decent. You know, okay, one or two windows, I think they just missed the boat. They really, really did miss the boat, one or two windows. Just didn't invest when we needed it. When we won the league in 2020, it's the first time in 30 years, that was the time to make a statement in the market. And we didn't do it. We brought in Minamino and one or two others. We didn't spend 70, 80, 100 million on a player, a big player. We brought in bit part players, and Klopp probably said that was enough. You know, this team have to win the league. You know, ridiculous amount of points, record amount of points, and of enough to go again. But United did it. Chelsea did it. When you're at your highest level, you bring in the top stars. At least one. You bring in your 180, 100 million per player, and every year you bring in another one. So after 2-3 years, you have 2 or 3 brand new players. We just didn't do it. If we took over, he would have robots running our midfield. I presume you mean Musk, yeah. We're a global club now, and it's down to FSG and our shirt sponsors. So let's give credit where credit is due. FSG, best move was appointing Klopp. Huge. Oh, absolutely huge. Chinese regime. You'll never. I just hope so. Oh, hope not. Hope not. No. If he took over, he would have robots. Yeah, he would. He would have something. I don't know. Something crazy. I'd say something crazy. Salute your players and owners. We paid ridiculous money on Keita. Well, he's injured again. I mean, don't even go. Don't talk to me about Keita. Injured again. Imagine getting injured when you have an injury. You know what I mean? You have an injury, you come back and get injured again, and you get injured from having another injury. Maybe one injury in one leg and get injured in the other leg, walking to get a cup of tea. I mean, it's just ridiculous. Poor lad. Really pitied for him. Really, really pitied for him. Every Liverpool channel would have to pay $8 for Musk. Yeah, he'd be looking to pay money. That's to get your blue tick on Twitter. You have to pay $8 a month for your blue tick. On Twitter with Elon Musk. He's always looking to squeeze the last penny out, isn't he? But I think he paid over the odds for Twitter. 44 billion. 44 billion. Would have bought you 10 or 11 Liverpools. Come on, stop. You know, ridiculous amount of money. But listen, we'll see. We will see what will happen there. But as I say, Liverpool is more pressing concern for us as Liverpool fans, of course. I mean, you know, just be careful. Relax. I'm going to have to read a bit more about this FSG thing. You know, what's going to happen. We'll probably hear more during the week. Bits will come out. Keita is a spoiled brat being paid mega millions. Got injured picking up his check, says Henry. Eamon Kelly, let Cater go in the summer. It's a joke now. Well, he's on a free, isn't he, in the summer? Yeah. I mean, talking about renewing his contract. What are you talking about? Renewing his contract with who? Private health insurance? That's the only contract he'd be renewing. Let's be real. I mean, he made millions of him. Keita, just sad though, really sad, because there was a player there. There was a really good player there. He couldn't make it up. Only happens to Keita. MC in the house. How are you, MC? Dave, I think it's only a stake. If that's the case, it's all good, mind you. But we need clarity for real. Yeah, I did. I've heard 3 different stories about this FSG thing. The first one was FSG were looking for a complete buyout, 100%. Bang, good luck. See you next week. Someone comes in, buys the club, 100%. The other one I heard was they were just looking for someone to invest, buy a stake, maybe 10%, whatever. Maybe Redbird Capital to they've about what 9 or 11%, maybe buy a bit more, another 10, 15% stake to give them money so they can invest in the window or do something like that. Then the other one was Liverpool were just testing the waters, putting their toe in the water to see would someone come in with the mega bucks, similar to what happened at Chelsea. When someone came in with ridiculous money for Chelsea, over 3 billion, 3.5 billion or something. So there's a lot of stuff, there's a lot more clarity needed. But certainly something is happening. You don't go public on something like this with stock exchanges and all this type of thing unless there's something behind it. That's simple, you know. Keita is influenced by Mane. He doesn't have any friends left now. Wow. Keita and Pinaldo would make a lovely couple as they both spoiled brats. Gary Richards in the house. Gary, how are you? Top of the morning, Dave. These talks are advanced. Ones think Kenneth Huang may be looking to buy FSG out. FSG can't compete anymore. Who's Kenneth Huang? Obviously some Chinese billionaire. Is JP Morgan involved? That's what I heard. Yes. Morgan Stanley, I think, and JP Morgan, which are the big, finance companies in the States. And when they get involved, it's usually mega bucks in the billions, what we're talking about, which would be a takeover from Liverpool, 3 or 4 billion. Goldman Sachs. Goldman Sachs. Their sacks are full of gold, basically. Butter Pants in the house. How are you, bro? Hopefully you're well. Hit the like, hit the share. Let's get a few people in. I'm enjoying this chat. But as I say, I don't know all the answers myself. I'm sure nobody does. Only FSG know the answers at this stage. Maybe Klopp knows. Maybe he doesn't. I heard he wanted assurances for the more game time. Jokey should have demanded assurances he'd play 10 games. I presume we're talking about Naby Keita again. Oh my God. He should have been on pay per play or play per pay. Only when you play do we pay you. You know what I mean? Barca would know. They owe so much money. Yeah, Barca. I mean, they got United in the Europa League playoff. United Barca, that'd be interesting. But Barca are not the team they used to be either. Look at Barca, exactly. We could end up like Barca. So, we need to keep our hats on, relax, see what happens, see what the next few weeks or days or months bring for the club. Naby not even injured, pulling a fast one. Says Barry, well, I don't know. Something did happen though with Keita in the summer when he was left out of the Champions League squad. I don't know, behind the scenes. It just didn't seem right. Sit right with me. Kenneth Huang is a Chinese businessman. Huang founded Sports Corp China in 2004. Wanted to buy Liverpool in 2010 when Hicks and Gillette bought the club. Wow. Do you want a big Chinese businessman coming in with human rights in China as well, similar to Saudi Arabia? I mean, that's where a lot of billionaires are now in China. Yeah, Dave, but Dave, maybe Klopp doesn't want the hassle with big name stars. He makes stars. Yeah, well, that's true. He does. We make stars. We don't sign stars. We usually make them. He did the same at Lewandowski. Yeah, exactly. He did the same at Lewandowski at Dortmund. Absolutely. Craig Lennox, how are you, my friend? Hi, mate. Until we hear officially from the club itself, we had good first half, but second half of Spurs, we didn't play. Best glad we got the points. Yeah, absolutely, Craig. We don't know the full ins and outs of this FSG takeover, sell, stake, whatever it is, investments. We don't really know. We're just hearsay, whatever you want. But I mean, obviously the win yesterday was great. We needed it, but that second half display was pretty poor. It was like the season. So good in the first half. Salah, the king of Egypt, with 2 absolute beautiful goals. And then second half, what happened second half? I mean, if we would have drawn that game after being 2-0 up, that would have been an absolute travesty. We got over the line, just about. Got the 3 points, and we've got to win the next 2. League Cup Wednesday against Derby County and Southampton at Anfield. Finish it on a high before the World Cup break. No China ties with Russia, who were powering through Ukraine, but there you go. There you go. JP Morgan are massive, yes. Please, I did a call out on a minor director in a rented house, 35 grand a month. What? JP Morgan are massive, yes, please. I did a call out to a minor director. Oh, he was a minor director of JP Morgan. He rented a house for 35 grand a month. There you go. Oh, they're huge. Billion, trillion, whatever that word. Investment banks or something, aren't they? Hedge funds and all that type of thing. It's a bit over my head. It's a bit higher at my pay grade, baby. The fact Liverpool went into the season with Carvalho and Ramsey says it all, says Gary. Well, maybe your wishes are going to come true in the next few weeks, and you will get a new owner that might invest big mega bucks in January or mega bucks next summer, and you will get your dream. Who knows? Or maybe you won't. Poor Bobby Firmino has suffered World Cup heartache after the Liverpool striker was left out of the Brazil squad for the forthcoming tournament. Yes, as I say, it's good news for Liverpool fans because we want him playing, want him fit, want him ready to rock. But it's heartache for him and his family because Brazilian in particular, they love the World Cup. That's their dream as kids. You want to play in that yellow and gold jersey, green jersey. Government won't allow Chinese companies buy UK clubs, so it won't be a Chinese company. Yeah, there is some sort of a block there, isn't there? Won't be a Russian one either. So Russia and China see him out. That Indian guy, Ambani, I think his name is. LJ was saying earlier. That's an interesting one. The Indian. Few months. Just hope they still want Klopp. Well, who the hell wouldn't? Why wouldn't they want Klopp? You know what I mean? Klopp's part of the buying. Klopp would be the reason they're coming in. I'd say Jurgen Klopp there, bang. That's why we're going to spend 4 billion on the club. FSG are looking for other people to invest. Cheapskates, can't see them selling out rights, as Eamon. Who knows? Who knows? Carvalho is going to be a special player, Hannah. I will second that. I do love that young fella. Royal Bank of Scotland took Gillette and Hicks to court to force them to allow the board to proceed with the sale of the club, says LJ. Yes, I do remember that. And the club won. Thankfully, thank God. Because they were cowboys, weren't they? Hicks and Gillette, absolute cowboys. And I mean, you've got to be careful. We do not want any more cowboys at Liverpool. We want owners, if FSG sell, of course, which we don't know at the moment. But we want owners, preferably, as I said earlier, you want someone coming in that knows the history of the club. You want someone in that doesn't want to make a quick, fast buck. You want someone coming in that's maybe even a Liverpool supporter or the family members a Liverpool supporter. You know, that's preferably what you want. But in this world, with the money involved, you rarely get what you want. So you get what you know, if the highest bidder comes in and it's ethical, I suppose that'll have to be looked at. Then FSG sell. But if they don't, maybe they won't. Maybe they'll hold on to the summer. It won't be Americans, says Gary. We got some promising youngsters coming through, so perhaps we'll go through a rebuild relying on the talent we got. And Klopp always trusts throwing youngsters in, says Salvatore. The Anfield Lark, Alex is in the house. Yo, Dave, reckon it could happen soon. It feels like time for the change. Just really hope we get the right owners, as the only thing about FSG is that they are businessmen, not sugar daddies, says Alex from the Anfield Arc. Check out the Anfield Arc on YouTube as well. Some great content there. Okay, question. If Hex and Gillette were going to stay and we didn't have FSG, what we would have, exactly, we wouldn't have had Klopp. I mean, we would have been a totally different team. Who knows where we could have been in the bloody championship. You know what I mean? We were in trouble. We were in big trouble in 2010. People don't realise it. The TikTok boys don't realise how much trouble Liverpool were in back in 2010. We were in big trouble. And FSG got us out of it. So some kudos has to go to FSG. FSG cannot compete with the likes of Newcastle or Man City, Gary, of course. You could even say maybe United. Even United you can't compete with on the transfer fees. It's all about profit margin. Whoever comes in, says Eamon. There you go. It's all about the Wonga. It's all about the Benjamin Franklins, baby. That's exactly what it's all about. Unfortunately, football's a business now, and it's not going to change. It's only going to get worse. It's only going to get more because there's going to get more money involved. I'm not convinced on Carvalho. I know he's young, but he doesn't seem to have an end product and true position, and he's a bit lightweight in my opinion. Wow, that's a big statement. I do like him. I think he's only young. He's going to have plenty of time. He's been thrown in probably more than he would have. We would have hoped through injuries and reasons and circumstances. But I do like him. I think he's really got all the potential in the world. Just got to keep his head on his shoulders. And I think he could become a top top player. No, I do like him. I think he really does. I do like him. Him and Elliot. I mean, if you other young lads there, Katie Gordon, who was brilliant last year, back end of last year, got injured. He looks brilliant. That young lad Ben Doak, who plays for the under-21s, we signed Celtic, is banging the bloody goals in at the moment. Young Bjaticic, who keeps getting bit parts. I'd start him midweek. Absolutely. Tyler Morton on loan at Blackburn Rovers. We have young players there. Calvin Ramsey, who hopefully gets a start midweek. So we have a nice nucleus, but you have to add. This is where FSG have made the mistake. You've got to add that diamond every transfer window. Not a lump of coal that turns into a diamond, but an actual diamond that's already a diamond, a ready-made, basically. A ready-made, microwavable meal that's ready, and there you go, ready to play. You know, we haven't done that much. We did it with Alisson, we did it with Van Dijk, we did it with Salah, Fabinho. We've done it a few times when we needed to, but it was crying out this summer in the transfer window for a ready-made, big signing midfielder. Bang! And they didn't do it. I'm sure they're freaked that they didn't do it now. Remember, 5 windows, no signing, says it all. Gary, we missed, well, I wouldn't say 5. There's definitely 2 or 3 windows we should have done something. I keep going back to it. 2020, when we won the league for the first time in 30 years, the club was just exploding. It was a dreamland. We're all in dreamland. And we didn't invest that summer. When you're at the top, you invest. You know what I mean? And we didn't do it. We didn't do it. And they haven't really learned from that. I do really like Bjaticic. Spelled wrong. It's hard to spell his name. Salvatore, you're right. This news isn't helping Klopp at the moment. We need signings in January. The Raptor is in the house. It's more than just likes and shares things, Dave. Just saying. Raptor in the house. Let's go, baby. What is your thoughts? The Raptor is in on this FSG news, guys. What is your take on it, Raptor? I'm sure you'll have something to say in it. We don't even know the full story, of course. Is it a full sale? Is it a part sale? Is it a shares sale just from our investment? What is it? Is it tipping your toe into the lake? The lake of financial obscurity, the hope and dream that some billionaire comes out and says, here's a check for 3.5, 4 billion. Thank you very much. What is it? I don't know. Do you know? Just saying, the Raptor in the house. But guys, as I keep saying, look, you got to be careful what you wish for. And I gave FSG 7 out of 10. I'm sure a lot of people won't give them 7 out of 10. But I gave them 7 out of 10. But it would have been higher. We would have had more investment in those 2 or 3 windows that we missed out. Would have been higher. Coffee Addict is in. Will FSG sell Liverpool to owners from the Middle East or a communist country? Well, Russia will definitely be off because obviously they're at war with everybody at the moment. So Russia's gone. China, you've an issue there, obviously. Middle East, you've Saudi Arabia, human rights and hedge funds in the States. I mean, this is where all the billionaires live. This is where all the billionaires live, guys. So it's going to be one of them countries. Can't see it being a complete sell, says the Rapmeister. I'd be surprised. I mean, they're throwing away an absolute prized asset that they bought for, what was it, 360 million back in 2010. That's worth over 3.5 billion now, so it's gone 10 times the amount of what it's worth. It's going to be interesting, though. Absolutely interesting. Paul Owens would imagine there's a few offers already on the table. Otherwise, FSG would not have released the statement exactly. There can't be no smoke without fire. There has to be something. There has to be something behind this news. David Ornstein from The Athletic getting the big scoop today, which broke after the last 16 draw, who we got Real Madrid, by the way, which has been lost in the smoke, lost in the mist of this FSG talk. But it is interesting. As I say, it's going to be crazy. It's going to be the World Cup, and finish these 2 games. Wednesday night League Cup, get that out of the way, get into the next round, Derby County, play a few young lads if we can, get through, then all eyes on Southampton, 3 o'clock at Anfield, get the bloody 3 points, get up to 22 points by then, I think we've a game in hand on a few teams. World Cup comes, 5 or 6, 7 players go away, you want them back, you've Jota, Diaz, Matip, all back fresh for Christmas, maybe new owners, and maybe investment, who knows? I want FSG to sell up. They've had their day, says Eamon. Only communist rich countries are Russia and China, so won't be coming from them. The Raptor, and to be honest, a share sellout wouldn't be an entirely bad thing It's nothing if not a good excuse and means as part some way, yeah, to part with some money for some players we definitely need. Yeah, I think it's more that. I think it's more, selling some shares in the club to get investment, to get money to buy players. I think it's more that than the other way around. But who knows? Who knows? Is it a complete share? Maybe they've opened the door, Pandora's box, to some billionaire to come in and say Elon Musk with his "You'll never walk alone" tweet, something like that tonight. I'm just guessing, of course. And then all Twitter explodes. So there's 4 or 5 different things that could be happening here. 4 or 5. 4 or 5 things. Tally ho, FSG cannot compete. One does think that talks are advanced. Does the panel remember the name Kenneth Hong? One does think his name might be behind these talks as Gary. That's the Chinese billionaire, of course. I think FSG are just making rumours to see what's out there, and they won't sell. We're big earners for them, says Salvatore. Yeah, I know what you mean. You're basically saying they're putting their toe into the water to test the waters type of thing. And Goldilocks, is it too hot? Is it too cold? That type of thing. But it's a weird time of the year, like November, recessions and countries cutting back and tech companies, sacking bleeding loads of people and Twitter takeovers and, metaverse losing money and all this type of thing. It's an unusual time to be talking about selling, isn't it? I think maybe they're just looking forward to the January, get it sold now so you can get the investment in for January, get it maybe 100, 200 million in, you can spend it on players with share sales. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe it is possible. As Raptor said, that one is even more possible where they're sell maybe 10% stake in the club, get 300 million in and spend some of that or most of that on 2 or 3 players in the transfer window. And then it brings you up, good chance for top 4, you move on, and then sell it in the summer when the stakes gone up again, you have Champions League football. And maybe number 7, Champions League, who knows? Maybe there's some sort of method to the madness. But just to come out with it today, I think it was a bit weird. But then again, most of these things have to be public when you're talking about stock exchanges and shares and stuff. A lot of people will know about it, Liverpool considered cheap at 4 billion, 10% of what Twitter buyout by Elon was, 44 billion or something he paid for Twitter. Still think way overpriced. As you say, he could have bought over 10 or 11 Liverpools. LFC Live just posted Liverpool optimistic about Bellingham deal. Peter Snape, Bellingham is back in. Oh no. Well, maybe after this investment talk and FSG talk, and you can throw Jude Bellingham in, you can throw Declan Rice in. You're making me hungry talking about Rice now. But you know what I mean? You could just throw all these guys in. We need players. We need midfielders. That's why these two probably the best players at the moment. 2 English players, of course, who will be at the World Cup, and the prices are only going to go up again. Bellingham's a good one. Rice is a good World Cup. Forget about it. The money will go through the roof. FSG haven't backed Klopp as big as they could have. Their owners could have been more progressive. FSG aren't the be end and end all. Look, I never said they were. I did say they missed 2 or 3 windows. They missed 2 or 3 windows, big time. The only mistake they made was investment. They made a mistake with Super League. So did the top 6. They made a mistake with the furloughs during COVID. But they backtracked on it. They learned from that mistake. But they didn't learn from the big spending investment. You can see all the other clubs around them doing it. Maybe Klopp was happy with what he got. I don't know. You could see the age profile for the midfield. But you know what I mean? So I just, as Dave, what's your views on the teams going to the World Cup? You might have talked about, and look, the World Cup, we know there's issues in Qatar, of course, with workers being killed, making the stadiums and workers' rights, and who knows what happened over there, and gay rights, and all this stuff in Qatar, and stuff coming out, FIFA saying who are as corrupt as UEFA, let's be real here, talking about don't open your mouth, just play the football, say nothing, play the football, and all this type of stuff. I mean, there will be stuff happening at this World Cup. Don't there will be stuff. There's going to be controversy at this World Cup, and you'd expect it. I knew when it was given it to Qatar. I mean, it was given to Russia and Qatar straight after each other. Let's be real here. I mean, FIFA has something to answer for, don't they? Money again. Money talks. Qatar is a dangerous country to go to. Eamon Kelly, like Dave says, be careful what you wish for, says the Rap Meister. Absolutely. I wonder if Trent still be around under the new owners. His coffee out. Oh my God. Trent did a bit of a wobbly game yesterday, didn't he? What was he doing pushing your man behind the back and the ball's going out of play? I mean, pushing Sessegnon behind the back. This is silly. I mean, Gomez done something silly like that. This Gomez Trent silliness, silly tackles are pushing. I mean, I've seen penalties given. I was actually surprised. In a big game like that, ball going out of play, just let it run or just shepherd it out. Pushes him from behind. I was surprised. I was really surprised with no penalty there. That was a let off. I would play Trent in midfield. We've been talking about that. Yeah, maybe play him on Wednesday against Derby County. Remember, FSG are involved in other clubs in the US, so they are spending money elsewhere. Yeah, they bought the Penguins as well, didn't they? The ice hockey club, and they've the Boston Globe, and they've newspapers, and they've radio stations, and they've money everywhere. Redbird Capital of 10 or 11% of Liverpool as well. LeBron James, the famous basketballer. So there's money, guys. There's money there. Dave is totally entitled to his opinion too. Oh yeah, absolutely. Look, we're all entitled to our opinion on this channel, guys. Once you keep it clean, everyone gets their opinion on this channel. That's what it's about. That's what it's about being a fan. That's what it's all about, being a fan. I think Trent pushed player and should have given a pen, but ref was on the other side, I think. Yeah, yeah. Anyway, we got away with one yesterday. We didn't play well second half, but I'll take the 3 points. Absolutely, we needed those. First away win the Premier League, and we're what? First week into November, so we take that. Let's beat Southampton. Let's beat Derby. And let's forget about this third of the season. Let's get players back from injury. Hopefully, a bit of investment in January. Either FSG or some new billionaire, zillionaire comes in, and we get a few players in, and we can push for that top four. Good run in the Champions League. Hopefully, beat Madrid, and let's see what happens. This deal will be done quickly, says Gary. It should have finished 2-1 yesterday. It did finish 2-1 to Liverpool. Look, we got away with them yesterday. It's done. We got away with it. We move on. Second half yesterday was as bad as the first half was good. Just saying, Raptor. Look, yesterday was a game of two halves. The famous cliche in football, that was a game of two halves. First half, you're really good. Two unbelievable goals from Mo Salah. Second half, dropped off. Maybe we thought we'd had it won. I don't know. They pressed and pressed. Our subs didn't make any impact at all. We looked really dodgy at the back. Alisson pulled off one or two really good saves. Kanate was very good at the back, only for Kanate as well, you have to say. We had one or two chances in the break. I mean, Darwin hit the post. One or two chances where we just square the ball and tap in for Salah. But a bit of a worry that second half, to be fair. Bit of a worry. Do you think since the fall of the Super League that FSG has lost interest in the club? I still think, look, I've said it at the start of the show, I still think the Super League is not off the table, guys. I know you won't like to hear that, but at the hierarchy of the big billionaire owners, the like this new Chelsea owner, the American guy, who would be involved in the Super League. Your man keeps talking about at Real Madrid. He'll talk it again when we play them in February, I'm sure, in the Champions League. But there's so much money involved. There is so much money for the big 10, 20, 12, 15 clubs in Europe. I would be surprised if there isn't some form of a Super League. Maybe not that exact form, but some form of a breakaway Super League within the next decade or within the next 8 years, 20, 30, whatever way you look at it. I'd be surprised if there isn't. There's just too much talk about it, too much money involved, too many people want it. I don't know. And I mean, UEFA are hardly good boys in this as well with the Champions League, are they? You know what I mean? So it's a bit of both, and anywhere they see money, they will squeeze the last drop out of it. Absolutely. It's strange because they are in the middle of a redevelopment in Anfield, for maybe getting a shareholder in would be the best option. Well, as I say, the Annie Road end is finished by August next year. Gives us an extra 7,000, which is more money for them. You know what I mean? It's hard to get a ticket at Anfield. Even in a Mickey Mouse game, it's hard to get a ticket at Anfield. You've got to be lucky. You've got to know people to get in. I mean, the brand has never been higher for Liverpool. Nike deals, biggest sponsorship shirt deals. Nike, Coca-Cola in the summer, Expedia. All these bloody Standard Chartered, the big bank. Of course, renewing huge deals, big money coming in. TV rights are going through the roof. All of the US people, all the US people involved in our football will be involved behind the scenes in something akin to a fucking Super League, says Rap. Exactly. I don't think you can stop it, guys. A Super League would have to mean billionaire owners. Yeah, it will be billionaires. All the billionaire boys or the billionaire club will be involved in the Super League. It'll be called the Billionaires Club. This Trent madness really is baffling. Surely coaches must be spending time in him individually, or if he doesn't go to the World Cup, they must have him in daily and drum it into the kids about defending. Yeah, I don't get it with Trent. I mean, what a player. I mean, some of the balls he was given at the weekend, the cross balls, but the defending, the art of a fullback is to defend. His first job is to defend. I mean, Robbo can do it. Robbo can get up and down the line. Robbo can do it. He can defend also. Trent, surely, as you say, I think he probably will go with England, but if he doesn't, and he stays home for 5 or 6 weeks, drum that bloody defending into him. Dave, how are you? Yavali is in. How are you, my friend? I am absolutely fantastic. What's your thoughts on the FSG? What is your thoughts on FSG? Any players not going to the World Cup is a plus for us as Seamus. It's sad for them because they all want to go to the World Cup, of course. All players want to play in the World Cup as kids. That's the dream. Bobby, no luck. Bobby Firmino not going with Brazil. I'm sure his family, himself, family back in Brazil aren't happy with that. But Liverpool fans will be. FSG have anticipated Liverpool not qualify for the Champions League next year, and raising interest rate to buy players is a big risk for FSG. Henry, we won't become a laughing club. We'll just be a top 6 club. I suspect they freeze the particular ball in UEFA draws. Oh, God. Conspiracy theory from LJ. No. Remember, was it last year? Do you remember the draw? Was it last year? They made a complete bollocks of the draw. And it had to be redone. Do you remember that? That was an absolute farce. FSG have listened to the fans. Have listened to the fans. FSG have listened to the fans for once. Well, nothing's done yet. Nothing's set in stone yet, baby. Thing is with Trent is that he isn't a natural defender. He can fuck up in a defence, scramble of it and give a world-class ball across the field. Baffling sometimes. I don't know the answer myself. Maybe that's why he should be playing the right side of midfield. I don't know. Where he doesn't have to be so defensive. You still have to do defensive stuff, tracking back, but if you're a fullback, defending is your number one job. Going forward should be second. My worry is, will FSG invest in new players with the club up for sale? Well, I'd say they're hoping it goes through before they have to invest. You know what I mean? They're probably hoping it goes through in November. And then whoever comes in, looks at the club, bang, 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 and hopefully invest in January. I mean, even if FSG stay, we still want players. We need something in January. We don't want any more, Ben Davies or Kabaks or Artemellos. We need proper investment. Are FSG going to do that track record? Probably not. My team talks at semi-pro level was don't concede when we don't lose. Well, if you don't concede, you're not going to lose, are you? You're certainly not going to lose if you don't let in a goal. The least you're going to get is a 0-0. You're going to get a draw. But obviously the defence, it's tightened up. It's tightened up a lot better than it was. We were making silly mistakes starting the season. Those silly mistakes. I mean, Trent yesterday, that pushing it back. I mean, Klopp, no defence for something silly and as stupid as that, touching a player in the back. I mean, all the training, all the coaching in the world is not going to stop someone doing that. I mean, that's a head thing. That's an individual thing. Sorry I'm late. Quick recap. I haven't been on Twitter. Yeah, of course, I've been checking out to see if Elon Musk has bought Liverpool, of course. Real Madrid losing to Rayo Vallecano. That's because they're afraid. They're after picking Liverpool in the FA, in the Champions League in the last 16 of February, and it's just gone to their heads. Bit like Barcelona did when we beat them 4-0 at Anfield in the semi-final back in 2019. FSG, give me Mo. Giving Mo £350,000 a week and now want to sell up, says Barry. Well, we needed Mo to sign on, didn't we? And I'm happy that we did. So only VVD, Fab, few games. Nunez are playing from our outfield 11. Kanate makes a big difference in the defence when he plays. Kanate was brilliant. Another great signing. What is he, 36, 37 million? Young, big, French. He'll be getting into the French team pretty soon. Will he go away with the World Cup in France? Maybe. I think Trent would be good right wing back, so we would not be focusing on a defensive side. Exactly. Maybe push Trent into midfield. He starts at one of your midfield options, and then buy a right back, buy a proper right back, and then you have Calvin Ramsey there and a proper right back, and you have Trent in midfield who can cover for right back, but also cover for midfield. There's FSG's midfield. They just bought one. It's like a new player. They love that saying, don't they? But we still need a big signing, a big, a Bellingham, a Rice, whatever you want. Um, he learned that pushing syndrome from Nunes. I just crazy. The Raptor FSG aren't going to put their assets down by not investing and leaving a team that needs a total rebuild, are they? Whatever they decide to do, they're going to want to offer a viable concern. Exactly. I mean, they're not going to not invest in January and then try sell Liverpool next summer when we're not in the Champions League and the price just dropped by maybe 10%. By investing even 100 million in January could give them an extra 200-300 million in the summer if we get Champions League. You know what I mean? So it's going to be interesting. If we're not sold by FSG or taken over before January, before the window, surely FSG have to do something in the window to make their little kitty or their diamond, which is Liverpool, investment go up. You can't let the investment fall. We spend 100. That'd be a waste of 100 million. You have to invest 100 million or whatever it is on Bellingham or a Rice or somebody in January, and then you have a good chance of getting top four. You push on, you get top four, you get a really good run in the Champions League, or you win the Champions League. And then in the summer you say, right, now we're worth 4 billion, we've Champions League football next year, blah, 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 new players sign another one or two players, bang. Yeah, I mean, if FSG stay, I think they must have some strategy in January. Trent will get a wake-up call when Ramsey makes his debut from him. What I've seen, he's decent, he's good, very young, still only 19, isn't he? Or has he just gone 20, but he's had a few injuries and he's only a young lad too. That's my only concern, but he really does look a prospect and I'd like to see him start on Wednesday night against Derby. FSG can't compete with nation states. If they sell, they will save face and have good will from the fans for what they have done for Liverpool. If Liverpool was genuinely on the market, we would have been all out but sold already. Well, I don't know. There's a lot involved. Liverpool are owned by FSG, which is a big consortium itself, Fenway Sports Group. There's a few people own it. And then I think it's a Red Bird Capital, I think, own about 11%, something like that. So it's not that simple. FSG will buy us Jude as a going away present. That'd be a Christmas present. That'd be under the Christmas tree. Jude Bellingham. I know he can't sign till 1st of January, but you know what I mean. Would Dortmund sell Jude? Would Dortmund sell Jude in January? It's hard to buy players in January, you know what I mean? Dave, although we've had the worst start of the season since Hodgson, we're only 7 points off top four. Nothing here is decided. In Klopp we trust, says Peter Snape. You'll never walk alone, Peter. Absolutely right. I still think we've a good chance. We've given ourselves a lot of work. We've given ourselves some heartache. It's not going to be easy even to get top four. But as I said, we've players back. If we can beat Southampton on Saturday, get the 3 points, drop away what's just have to happen. You have the big boys coming back. Diaz, Jota, we've missed them big time. Even Matip, we've missed. 1 or 2 players in January. Who knows? Who knows where we'll be in January, February? Our value will drop massively if it looks like we won't make the Champions League, says Salvatore. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's why we need investment in January. That's why we need investment in January. Big time. And Raptors is spot on to Peter Snape's comment earlier. Yeah, so it's going to be either way, it's going to be an interesting January, isn't it? It's going to be really interesting now. If FSG are still there, will they invest? Or if FSG aren't there, will the new owners invest? Surely they would. I mean, otherwise they'd have to have some strategy to come in and say, well, we need top four next year. And I think we might need 1 or 2 players to get top four or give us a good chance of getting top four next year. So I'm sure that's all been worked on. These aren't decisions that are thought in 1 hour or 10 minutes or 20. These are months, probably even a year or 2 in advance. Well, it's all worked out, mathematical equations almost. Steve Richards, hi Dave, reckon they're still being planning to sell since the Super League backlash. Steve, how are you, my friend? Hopefully you are well. Maybe, but as I said earlier, I still think that bloody Super League hasn't gone away. It won't happen next year or the year after, but I can see it in maybe 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 years. I'll be surprised if it doesn't happen or something similar happens to a Super League because there's just so much bloody money involved. Unfortunately, money's taken over now. And it has been like this for the last few years. Money is just taking over. You need to be a billionaire with deep pockets to own a Premier League club. Regardless of some mistakes FSG have made, they came into Liverpool, cleared the club's debts, turned the club into a very good brand. Hopefully, whatever happens, we can stay top, says Seamus. So I'll second that. Club usually wins first game with a caretaker manager, so I hope we break that myth. We always get, you can check out the stats on this, guys. We always seem to get a team that have just lost their bloody manager. And who plays them next? Liverpool. You get that bounce. You get that either managerless bounce, caretaker bounce, or new manager bounce. And it's always Liverpool, isn't it? Wow, always Liverpool. The myth again at Anfield. But surely, I've been saying against Forest and Leeds, but we can't slip up against Southampton. But Dave, even the players don't want a Super League. Money talks, Dave. Unfortunately, money talks, you know. We're talking about money. We're talking about money. Simply Red, was it? Yeah. He's a United fan. But it's money talks. It's all about money. That's what it's all about. And money will talk in the end. And just as it goes and goes and goes and keeps going year on year, the TV rights keep going up, the Champions League money goes up, the wages go up, the transfer fees go up, the sponsorship goes up, everything goes up. You know, and that's what it is. And as you say, the more American owners, the more international owners that come in, they'll be looking at the worldwide market. They'll be looking outside Europe probably. They're probably thinking of the Super League where you play a Brazilian champions, like the Club World Cup type thing. You know, you play an Asian champion, you play a team in America, you come over and there's a semi-finals, like a World Club Cup. You know, maybe something like that. In February, we will be in the quarterfinals of the Champions League, says Peter Snape. Well, we got the last 16 on the 14th. I think it's on Valentine's Day against Real Madrid, of course. And I think the next game is, so I think it's quarters are in March, I think. Started going to watch Wrexham. Great atmosphere, says in Wrexham. Wow. Were they not bumping that American actor, Ryan Gosling, was it? Something like that. Him and some other guy bought Wrexham, if I'm right. Yeah, wow. Brilliant. Bootlegger. I think your man's name is Bootlegger. He's a lunatic. He follows Wrexham. He's an absolute lunatic on Twitter. Ryan Reynolds. Did I say Ryan Gosling? Ryan Reynolds. Okay, Ryan Reynolds bought Wrexham. But yeah, they're all buying it now. Even film stars are buying bloody clubs. My loyalty to LFC is no bounds, because if there was a choice of the ESL or LFC, I would choose LFC without a shadow of a pool. Dead pool. I hope you're not talking about Liverpool. Dead pool. Yeah, I know the film you're talking about, of course. It's Live Pool. Liverpool, not Dead Pool. Just down the road from me, says the Rapmeister. So we're just down the road from Wrexham. Wow. Famous old Welsh club. I always remember that. Was it Mickey Thomas? What was your man's name? Scored the goal back in the 90s, it would have been, against Arsenal. Wrexham beat Arsenal 1-0, I think. The racecourse grounds, is that their home ground? I'll always remember that game. Ravi says, hopefully it's a positive and doesn't bite us in the backside down the line. Exactly. Steve, perhaps Johnny Depp and Will Smith buy us. I don't think they have enough money. They don't have enough money. And yeah, and your man from Always Sunny in Philadelphia, Mickey Thomas. Yeah, Mickey Thomas with the goal. Yeah, I'll always remember that, to beat Arsenal. Yeah, that was an FA Cup. Some great FA Cup games back in the 90s. The FA Cup isn't the same. I know we won it with the holders and all that, but back in the 90s it was... If my old brain serves me correctly, I think you're right, Rapmeister. I'm not too far behind you, baby. I'm not too far behind. Be 50 next April, the big 5-0. I might go to Liverpool for April next year for me 50th. Hopefully Liverpool are in a better place in April. Would you accept PIF, the Arabs, who wanted us, Dave? It's a real moral dilemma. I think it was DIC. Was it not DIC who wanted us? It is a moral dilemma. I don't know. You have to be careful what you wish for, guys. You really do. You have to weigh it up. I mean, Liverpool with its, background, its socialist, its Labour background, and human rights have to come into it somewhere, guys. Human rights have to come into it somewhere. You look incredible for 49. Thank you very much. Football is genuine before 92. After 92, it's agendas, business and greed, says Henry, since Sky Sports came in. All the big money came in. Dave, I thought you were 47. Thanks very much. 61 these days, Dave. Brain like a fucking raisin, says the Rapmeister. Rap, yeah, I have to get you on the show sometime. You're an absolute legend, the Rapmeister, in the house. What about LeBron buying a controlling share? He got a minority stake. Yes, but even LeBron, I mean, LeBron's worth huge money, but Is he a multi-billionaire? I don't know. Is he worth about a billion? Maybe. We need someone worth about 10, 20 billion. We need that level. We need, I mean, to buy the club alone is going to be 3, 4 billion. And then you need probably a billion to invest over a few years. So, I don't know. Redbird Capital are involved as well. Maybe someone else is coming in. Who knows? You need 4 or 5 billion to get a controlling share. LeBron doesn't have that. There you go. Well, is LeBron an he's a big LFC supporter? Of course, remember him with the jersey on, trying to sell the jersey for Nike. No probs, mate. Shout me up only when I'm on a day release, though. I'll make sure they give you an hour off at least. Give you a day's release, Raptor. Dave, the books on the shelf don't look secure. Oh, they are. I've read them all. I just can't put them back properly. That makes you look really intelligent when you've books behind you, doesn't it? This is just a crap room. Don't worry about this room. It's sort of a throw everything into the room type of thing. LeBron knows the right people. All those guys mix in the right circles, don't they? Money mixes with money, guys. Stephen, he has sold his FSG shares for a stake in Liverpool. Yeah. 3 billion from what I'm reading. So anyone willing to pay, that will definitely have the funds. Exactly what we said earlier. Anybody who's going to buy a club for 3 or 4 billion has to have at least a billion to spend over maybe 3 or 4 or 5 years. Otherwise, why spend 3.5, 4 billion? You know what I mean? Hope the new owners change the kit to Adidas. I do like Adidas, I have to say. Nike's a bigger brand name. It's the States. They're trying to break the States. Being American owners, of course. Nike, apparently, it's the bigger brand name. Nike. That's the reason we got Nike in. That is the reason. I do like Adidas. It's old schools, 80s, 90s, old school for me. One of the nicest jersey ever, if you'd agree with me, given my age now, was the West Germany jersey in the 1990 World Cup. The Bremer penalty. Do you remember that jersey with the stripes, the 3 German stripes going across the white jersey with the Adidas sign? What a jersey. Iconic jersey. The West Germany jersey, because it was West Germany, because the wall hadn't fallen. In my opinion, getting shareholders in would probably be the best option. The candy kit, baby, says Steve-O. Adidas, beautiful. The 3 stripes. Can't go wrong. Cannot go wrong. Stephen, perhaps LeBron and a few mates could buy the club. Well, you get a load of mates involved in buying, and then you've like a conglomerate, a consortium, and all you need is one to act the boo-boo, and then it just breaks down. You just got to be careful. Got to be careful. We're not going to stay on much longer. We're an hour and a half here talking about FSG, selling, looking to sell up, or looking to sell shares, or what are they trying to do? Maybe looking for a bit of investment, so they can sell it. They can spend in January, get us back into the Champions League, and then maybe sell for a premium next summer. Maybe that's the plan. I don't know. Probably the new owner from Middle East who supports Mo and Keita. Castor Kit is getting big in sports and good stuff. Who? Castor Kit is getting big in sports and good stuff. What's Castor Kit? Never heard of it. I mean, Nike is big one. Adidas is huge. Liverpool, the club we are. I mean, look at Puma. Puma are the city kit. Puma, if we're going to the highest bidder, let's all be honest, we're definitely going Middle East. They are the richest people in the world, and the ones with interest in sport as well. Yeah, it looks that way. Dave, it's going to be Arab, so I'm off to buy a camel, says Steve. Yeah, well, look, that's where the money is. China's a lot of money as well. China's big money now. India, huge money, billionaires. India, China, I can't say Russia. Russia's billionaires, but probably lost a lot of money now. So China, Russia, Middle East. Can't rule America out either. Can't rule the States out. Is there any billionaires in England? That guy who wanted to buy Man United, what was his name? Sir something. Sir Cost-a-lot. Or Sir Money-lot. Personally, I think given the whole left earnings a lot of people involved with the club, I can't really see us going down with the City, Chelsea, Newcastle route without a lot of unrest. Exactly what I was saying, Raptor. We've got to save the integrity of the club. We've got the fabric of the club. I don't think it would allow one of these crazy owners to come in. What about an Irish owner? I don't have the money. Ryanair, Mike, the guy who owns Ryanair, maybe. He's worth a few billion, isn't he? But he'd be cheap tickets for the ground, maybe. That'd be the good thing. Cheap flights, cheap tickets. You never know. But Michael O'Leary, his name is, Ryanair owner. Can't see it though. Sponsor Newcastle Rangers and England cricket teams. Oh, yeah, wouldn't be big enough for Liverpool though. Wouldn't be big enough. Castor spelt wrong. No way. No way. Nike is huge. Nike's the biggest. It's the biggest sporting brand in the world. Nike is the biggest sporting brand. I think Adidas are second. So Nike is the biggest. So what with the biggest? The biggest reach worldwide, Middle East, Asia, America, obviously American sports brand, Europe, they are the biggest. That's the reason Liverpool have them. That's why Liverpool got the big sponsorship deal with them. Shirt deal. So that's the reason we have them, guys. Absolutely. And it's been good for the club. Integrity, that's the main word. A lot of people have got that in the spades. It's just have they got that loud enough voice. I have a very loud voice. But as you say, integrity, Rapmeister, that is exactly, could be an issue if the wrong owners come in. Would FSG sell up to the wrong owners and then ruin their integrity? Who knows? Money talks, as we all say earlier on. Who knows? Who knows? Anything is better than Warrior. The Warrior. Do you know what? Some of the Warrior kits weren't bad, actually. I still have that Warrior training top. The Warrior training top. It was black and gold. It was absolutely... They have never made a nicer one. It was absolutely beautiful. And I mean, New Balance, that black and gold Allison kit and that home kit that we won the league in was probably one of the best kits Liverpool ever wore. So New Balance deserved it for that. Then they went a bit wonky. Nike came in, but Nikes are just templates, really, aren't they? Nikes are like template kits. Newcastle kit direct from Castor, £105. Absolute disgrace. There you go. Money talks. Wonga boys talk. That's exactly what we're talking about, guys. Money talks in this game, unfortunately. Dave, do you still speak to Craig Holden? I haven't talked to Craig since 2019. October 2019, something like that. A long, long time ago. That's 3 years? 3 years ago. Inflation, says Butter Pants. Inflation. Craig does his own thing, doing brilliant with Anfield Agenda. Of course, I was on Anfield Agenda for the Champions League final, if you remember, back in 2019. Well, I just paid 75 quid for this season's home kit. It's too plain for me, these home kits, these red home kits. Far too plain for me, I think. But, I'm not mad about jerseys. I do like training tops. I like training tops. I like polo tops, that type of thing. Mad about jerseys, like training tops like this. This type of thing. What's your view on clubs having 4 or 5 kits a season and the cost of it? Not good, especially for the kids. All the kids want to get kitted out. They want the shorts, they want the full kit, they want the socks, they want the training top, the away kit, the third kit. It's too much money. It's absolutely too much. Next season's even plainer. I did see that one with the white neck in it. The leaked kit, whether it's that or not, it reminds me of the 1990s one. The one with the famous Fowler jersey. Adidas for me were the nicest Liverpool kits, absolutely. But we got to go where the money is, and Nike were paying the money. Adidas weren't. I would say 50 quid is reasonable. 50, 60 euros reasonable for a jersey. Absolutely. It's ridiculous now. As you say, you get the badges put on it, get the name in the back with for an adult's home jersey, it is huge money. Huge, huge money. Yeah, especially it's just plain old money making. Absolutely, Rapmeister. It is plain old. A lot of people can't even put dinner on their table, and they're looking for €100, £100 sterling for a bloody jersey. What about Amazon buying us Jeff Bezos? We might be able to deliver a few balls into the box if Amazon deliver a few balls into the box for Nunes from Amazon. That'd be a good ad, wouldn't it? Newsstand apparently mostly going to hospitality. I've heard, if that's true. I would believe that. Yeah, I don't think it's totally hospitality. Wonga speaks again. We've just been talking about money on this whole hour and a half. Has been all about money, 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 money. Money makes the world go round, makes FSG go round, makes the Premier League go round, and will only get worse. Getting the dinner ready while watching the show, Dave. Interesting to delve into the whole situation, says Alex from the Anfield. Alex, yeah. Look, I could talk for Ireland. I could talk for fucking ever here. And what am I now? 100 minutes in, 98 minutes in, nearly 99 minutes in. We'll stay on for another few minutes. But as I say, it's a big, big decision. There's big decisions now for Liverpool. Really is. We've got a midweek game against Derby County. We've forgotten all about that in the League Cup. We're the holders, of course. We've got a big Premier League game on Saturday night against Southampton and Anfield. We need to get the 3 points there. We've got Real Madrid, the champions, in the last 16. We don't play in February. the last 16 of the Champions League. It's just wow, wow, wow. And we've got possible takeover, buyout, whatever of FSG. Sports Direct got all our training tops going really cheap. I like the quarter zip top, got 4 different ones. Yeah, they must have some deal with them because there is an LFC store, official LFC store in Dublin, about 2 miles away from me. And I tried to film in it one day, and the guy said to me, I couldn't. You have to get permission from Liverpool. I was just going to go around with the camera, I did sneakily do it. But, it's just ridiculous. You know what I mean? I did one outside, bought a top or bought whatever, but crazy, crazy, crazy. Would have been good for them. You know what I mean? I wasn't going to say anything bad. The best thing in the life for free, but you can give them to the birds and bees. We want money. Exactly. Things that happen off the pitch affect what happens on the pitch. We're 8th in the table, says Eamon. Money makes the world go round, but does money buy happiness in football watching your team play for 90 minutes? Well, if you want your team to be successful on the pitch at this top elite level, Premier League, Champions League level, you need money, you need investment, unfortunately. And that's the way it is. And that's just the reality. That's just the reality, guys. You need to spend, and usually big money, to get the top players, because there's a certain pool of elite players, a certain amount of players there that are going to cost big money, big wages, big transfer fees. Dave, I've got the white track top Jurgen wears. Yeah, that is a nice top, actually. That is a proper top, yeah. LFC store is expensive. Yes, it is. The big mega store they built outside Anfield, literally 100 yards from Anfield, the big huge mega store. I mean, Liverpool missed huge tricks back in the 90s, back in the 90s. When FSG came in, they seen Billy Hogan, whoever came in at the time, the brand managers, commercial managers. I mean, we were so far behind the likes of Man United. They were way ahead of us, and that gave them money for their transfer. That gave them money to buy players. And we only really caught up in the last few years through FSG. The brand is so much better. It's so much out there. Sponsorship as well, gone up levels. That's huge. That brings money into the club. And people will say, why didn't you invest it on players? We did in some circumstances, but just not enough. And that was the problem, wasn't it? Just not enough. They could have been like a Carlsberg owners, probably the best owners in the world. If they would have spent those 2 or 3 windows where they could have spent, didn't spend. Can't fault FSG for commercial sales. There you go. Absolutely can't. But we need to see it on the pitch. You need to see that converted from commercial sales revenue to net spend to spending on the pitch. Okay, we tied a lot of players down. The likes of Salah, Van Dijk. We tied Alisson, all the top players down to long contracts. Big money. People forget about that. The wages, contracts, huge. We needed a midfielder in the summer, and we went for Arthur Melo. Melodramatic signing. Back when I first started watching Liverpool, the most expensive thing you bought was a scarf. It was a fucking scarf, says Raptor. A scarf is expensive now, probably €20 for a scarf, £20. Do you remember how big shirts were now? They're skin tight. Well, if you have a body like mine, it'll be nice on you, you know what I mean? Arthur, melodramatic signing. Wow. That was a strange signing, wasn't it? I mean, he came in, did he kick a ball? I mean, he played for Barca. He played for 22, 23 caps for Barca, for Brazil. Barcelona, Juventus. Wow, what happened there? What happened there? Melo wouldn't get into Wrexham's team, says Gary, or says Stephen Richards. Well, he wouldn't get into any team because he's bloody injured. That's the problem with him. Also, FSG has done a lot for local community schools and disabled. Yeah, the LFC Foundation, of course, do a lot of work behind the scenes with charity and stuff. So, I mean, there's a lot of stuff people don't see. You know what I mean? They just see what's on the pitch and just see the signing and transfers, and they don't see what goes on behind. And you have to give, something to FSG for that, guys. Something. Didn't invest enough while we were on top. Paying for it now. Exactly. That's what I said, Eamon. The 2-3 windows we missed out on cost us, and look like they're costing us at the moment. And now, because we're gone slightly, we're 8th in the table. And, when everyone's fit, it's a decent squad, but we still missed it. We still needed that 1 or 2 players because of the age profile in midfield, the injury profile in midfield. And we just didn't do it. We lost 2 or 3 windows, and now it puts pressure on the next window and the following window, where you probably have to spend twice as much as you were meant to spend. Who's actually picking up the bill for treating Arthur? I don't know. I mean, that is a peculiar peculiar one, guys. I don't know. That's the weirdest sign ever. Well, Ben Davies was weird, wasn't he? I suppose there's another one, Quebec. But we've made fantastic signings. We know all about when Michael Edwards was there, Julian Ward's there now. The transfer committee, as they're called, have been unbelievable, punching above their weight, putting their hands into bags of coal and pulling out diamonds almost every single time. It wouldn't happen all the time. You're bound to just pick out a lump of coal every now and again. We did with Mello. We did with Ben Davies. Although Ben Davies got on the Rangers, decent player. Poor lad when he signed for Liverpool. But Quebec just didn't look quite right. But we've had more. We've had more diamonds than lumps of coal. Let's be fair. We've had a lot more diamonds than lumps of coal. Even Diaz, when we signed him 40 plus million, he's probably double that now. Jota, 40 odd, probably double that now. When you sign for Liverpool, you play well. Your price probably doubles straight away. As we used to say, don't sign superstars, we make them. You know what I mean? So you have to give FSG some kudos, and Klopp and his backroom staff and the transfer committee for that. Guys, I'm going to go soon because my voice is going. I'm 106 minutes in. Jesus Christ. Hit the like, hit the share. That's what it's all about. Look at Coutinho as an example. Well, Coutinho, I don't know if Barca still owes money on him. Probably do. It was 130 million or something, which I thought was ridiculous at the time. It was sad to see him go. But look at Coutinho, as you say, grass isn't always greener. Went all the way back to Villa. I thought Villa, when he signed him at first, was looking good. Then all of a sudden, Gerrard got the sack. And he hasn't really done it, has he? Has not done it at all. Unai Emery is there now. We play them when we come back after Christmas, guys. Dave, you take care, mate. Laters, man. Thank you, my friend, Rapmeister. I should get you on and we get a little word from you as well. Soon I shall hit you up on Twitter. I'm going to do a load of videos during the World Cup as well to catch up, probably get a few interviews, chats with people, and do a bit of stuff in the World Cup as well, because it's a big break, 5-6 weeks. We have to fill it in with something. Thank you very much for popping in. Stay safe. Talk soon. FSG. Are they going to sell? Are they going to buy? Who knows? I don't. You don't. Let's hope it goes well, whatever happens. Game on Wednesday against Derby. I'll do something tomorrow for that in the League Cup. Let's win that. Move on. Then a huge one on Saturday. We need 3 points against Southampton. We have Champions League not till February. A long way away. Real Madrid in the last 16. We need revenge on them. We'll get them. We'll be ready to rock. Stay safe. Talk soon. Thanks for popping in, guys. As usual, lot more content to come. You'll never walk alone. Cheers, guys.